Oh my god!
Hey everybody. So recently I've been posting some VR videos and I've gotten some questions about what my current setup is. So I want to start out this video with a very quick disclaimer. I am not a gamer. I play campaign mode games and I sell them. I don't really invest a lot in video games or anything like that. So what I wanted to do in this video wasn't necessarily like, oh, this is a budget build, because everybody's budget is different. Everybody wants to do different things. So instead I'm just going to explain what I've done and what I've bought over the last few years to kind of come to where I am right now. I basically will cover what I have, how much I've spent on it, and what I think about it, and really what's next, because I have learned a lot about VR in the last few days. All right, so here's my current setup. So I'm just going to kind of go around and talk about the price and when I bought everything, and then I'll talk about what my impressions are. So this is the standard PSVR. This is how much I paid for the standard PSVR. So this came out a few years ago. I've actually had it for probably about 3, maybe 4 years. And it hasn't really gotten much use until fairly recently. This is the G29 Driving Force Logitech. This is how much I paid for this. And this was the specific version for the PS3 and PS4. It's more of an entry-level racing wheel with the pedals. And I believe, I thought it came with the stick shift. I'm not sure now because it's not showing on the box, but I have one. So I'm not sure if I bought that separately, but I don't think I did. And then last but not least, the main components of the VR setup is this. This is my newest purchase. I got this for Christmas. This is the Next Level Racing GT-Lite foldable cockpit. And I already mentioned that originally when I bought all this setup, I planned on having a kind of like a permanent setup that I could, a little bit more comfortable seat. But because in my house here in Texas, I don't actually have a separate game room, I wanted something a little bit more foldable and something more temporary. That way I can move it when I need to. This is what I paid for it. And this is where I got it. So, and then games. What games do I have? So I recently just got Drive Club VR. I honestly have not even had time to really play it. This is a game that I filmed my daughter playing. She was playing the orientation drive. So I've got Drive Club VR, which I had to order on Amazon because nobody was selling it. They actually stopped supporting this game back in 2020, and now it's basically just a single player game. You can't really play against other people, but from what I've heard, it's an awesome experience, especially for entry level VR. So I just bought that on Amazon, got it. It was about 25 bucks, but most of them are going for about 30 to 40. So other games I have, my daughter has been playing the game that came with the PSVR. It's called VR Playroom. And it's actually got a bunch of cool little games for kids, but also for adults, where it really shows off the ability to use VR. You actually need an open space, so I moved this thing out of the way, and she plays like right here. And it's got cool little kids games. She loves it. She loves putting the headset on and seeing it. There's Drive Club VR.
I at least kind of want to try to win.
Oh, nice. And then my favorite with VR is Dirt Rally. Dirt Rally on VR is freaking awesome. It's a shame that Dirt Rally 2.0 didn't do it, but I know that's because of limitations of the PS4. But if you buy any of this setup, please invest in Dirt Rally. Again, I cannot find this game anywhere. I bought this 2-3 years ago, and I bought the disc version of it. I can't even find it on the PlayStation Store. So if you're interested, I would try to find it on Amazon or something like that, or maybe even a local GameStop. And then the other game that really shows off VR is Gran Turismo Sport. I bought this as well. Now this, I will warn, is a very limited VR experience, meaning you can only do time trials and very limited VR stuff. So you can't actually just play regular racing on Gran Turismo Sport with VR. There's only select items, and I'll just show you. Oh, and while that's loading, I forgot a key component of the VR. This actually comes with the VR headset. It's a little camera that detects all the lights on the VR headset right there. And the PSVR does have headphones that come with it, which is an awesome experience. So make sure you use those if you are using PSVR. I will say that the stick shift that comes with the G29, it kind of sucks. I mean, this is an entry-level setup, so I'm not too concerned about it, but it's really flimsy. I don't like really the way this feels, but I don't use it much. I use the paddle shifters a lot. So these are the three things you can do. You can do a VR drive, which is just a casual drive. a time trial, and then a showroom, which is just you looking inside the cars, which is still pretty cool. But mostly I just end up doing time trials and trying to beat my Ghost. I just need to do some adjusting, and I'm going to do some gameplay videos for you guys. So everything adjusts right here. I can tilt this. This I can move back and forth with these little adjusters right here. The seat, you can lower it, you can raise it a little bit just based with these clips. So it's not a bad setup. It's not the most comfortable seat. After a few hours, it does start hurting your butt a little bit. I've found a good cocktail of some cushions that I add sometimes. But overall, for the price, I think it was good. And for the amount I play, it's actually a really good setup. So let's get started. I'll show you some gameplay. All right, so I'm not gonna put my headphones in, but these are the tracks that you can choose. I'll just do, I like the Kyoto racing track. In VR, you can only do certain times a day because I think the graphics just can't handle it. So I will choose, I love driving the Lexus RCF. And also, you can hear it through your sound system, or you can put your headphones in, or you can do both. So here I can look around, I can look at the car, I can look up, down. Sorry, I'm not really racing, I'm just showing everybody what it looks like. But it is a really cool experience. The weird part is, obviously these aren't like the motion seats that you can invest like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 into. But when you're like reversing, it actually does feel like you're moving. It's kind of cool. Really, really cool experience. But other games, you can actually use the steering wheel, so they might not work on VR, but like Need for Speed Heat and some other games do work with the steering wheel. So definitely recommend a setup like this because it really does change the way you play driving games. Okay, so would I recommend this setup? My short answer is if you can find all this stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, go for it. It's a really, really cool setup for a casual gamer. I wouldn't pay full price MSRP for any of it except maybe the seat because those are hard to find, and then also this is a fairly new launch, I believe, from Next Level Racing. For the rest of it, PSVR, the games and everything, just try to find them used. They're fairly cheap because people just don't use them, and it's a great setup, kind of like just to get you into casual gaming and racing and stuff like that. However, I have a gaming PC that I got from a friend, and I haven't really used it. I played Far Cry on it for a long time back in the day, and now I'm kind of itching to get this stuff to work on my PC. I've been on Reddit a lot, I've been researching a lot. I think I can make this Logitech G29 actually work with the PC to a limited capacity, so I need to look into that. Supposedly, I can also use my PSVR. All the hardware is very limited, so I've been kind of looking online at Oculus Rifts and Oculus Rift S on Marketplace to see if maybe that's something that's worth it, because the capabilities on the PC are unbelievable. Even if you spend a few $100, you can get a really, really cool immersed kind of environment on VR with a good gaming PC. So if you already have a gaming PC, I would invest in that. If you have a PS4, I would just definitely kind of focus towards this. It is kind of a gateway drug. I'm starting to look at like motion seats, which I'm not in a budget or anything like that to get any of that. But this is kind of like a gateway to, wow, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Especially since this stuff is now stopped being developed on. I honestly am debating between a PC build, since I already have a computer that I think can handle most basic VR, or just waiting for the PS5 and then the PS5 VR or VR2, PSVR 2 when that comes out. So take that for what it's worth. If you can find some really good deals online, I would get it. It completely changes the way you play racing games in general. Even just the steering wheel alone really changes the way you play video games. So thanks for listening. I know I'm not like a professional gamer. I'd love to hear any kind of comments or questions that you may have, but I do really like this setup. It's fun. My daughter loves it. It's good casual fun that I've built up over the last 3-4 years. So again, I'll stay tuned. If I change anything on there, I'll post it. If you're interested, just follow and subscribe. Thanks.